everyone, and happy first day of autumn. Today we're gonna actually start with a fall at-home recipe. I went to a farmer's market yesterday and got some apples and made some homemade apple cider I want to share with you guys. I wish I would have grown these apples. We actually did get 2 apple trees this year. One is going strong and one actually died over the summer, so we're gonna have to get another one. So hopefully we'll get our own apples in the next couple of years. But I thought it'd be fun to kick off today's garden tour with a little fall autumn vibe with some homemade apple cider and maybe inspire you guys to try it yourself at home as well. So I hope you enjoy. So first I got about 8 gala apples from the farmer's market and chopped them up. You didn't have to peel them or de-seed them or anything. I would recommend probably using 12. You put them in a pot and then go ahead and cover with water. We're gonna add cinnamon and we're gonna also add allspice, and we'll also add in sugar as well, white sugar or brown sugar. And then I added in some cloves because I like extra flavor, and then I also added in a little bit of nutmeg as well. And you're gonna go ahead and let it simmer. Well, you wanna let it boil for 1 hour and then simmer for 2, and your apples are gonna look like this, kind of mushy. And I did have my husband's help here to put it in the strainer over my sink. And then you just kind of squish away, and there's got to be a better tool than a measuring cup, but that's all I had. For about 15 minutes, squished away, and then poured it into a pitcher and got not as much apple cider as I would have liked, but a decent amount. Again, I would probably up the amount of apples you used, and I'll link the recipe below. I did try it because my husband was not brave enough to. After all, it was just squished up apples. It couldn't be that bad, right? And it was actually surprisingly good. I tried it cold, and I can't wait to try it hot. And let's head on back to the garden tour. It's literally been raining all week, so we're gonna take a look and see what the rain has done for the garden. And we do have these pumpkins have taken off pretty well actually so far. My other pumpkins, you'll see them look pretty bad. So we'll see if they'll eventually climb up this trellis like I was hoping. The basil is still doing great. I am gonna go ahead, I think, and repot one of these this weekend. So I'll show you that if I get to it. And over here, the green beans have taken off, so I'm excited. Hopefully they will continue and we'll get some fun fall green beans. And we were so excited to actually save some seeds this year. This was one of our goals. So we let the green beans go ahead, and dry out on the plant. And then we were able to open up the seeds and harvest some green bean seeds for next year. Okay guys, this was super fun. We have some seeds, so I'm excited we tried it this year, and we'll plant them next year and see how they do. This is the black cherry tomato plant. It's still hanging on, it's still producing, so I haven't been out here to pick, but we've got some tomatoes that I've harvested so far. So this one's still hanging on. We're gonna push it to see as long as I can get good tomatoes from it. I've noticed that the tomato quality I'm getting is not as good now that I'm pushing them, so we'll see how long this one lasts. This is my jalapeno plant. It's definitely the best surprise from the summer. So I am going to be making red pepper jelly this afternoon, and I'm gonna be picking out some of these jalapenos and using them. I've never had successful peppers, so I'm excited. Even though they're little, I'm still gonna count this as a win. It was my first time making red pepper jelly, and it was actually way easier than I thought it was gonna be. You're basically just gonna do my favorite thing, put all your ingredients, well, vegetables, into the food processor. So the red and green peppers and jalapenos, you're gonna let the food processor do the work and chop it up for you until it's nice and blended. Then you're gonna go ahead and put it in a pot. You're gonna add the apple cider vinegar and a packet of pectin, and then you're gonna add a ton of sugar. This recipe actually calls for 5 cups of sugar. The recipe's below if you wanna get the actual details. You're gonna let it simmer for a little while so everything's together, and then I went ahead and canned it. So I put it into my canning jars, cleaned off the lids, put everything on top, and then put it right in the canner. Sorry everything's off center, but I didn't want my phone to fall in the canner. And for more extensive canning instructions, please see the recipe below, but I went ahead and let the canner build the pressure till it reached 10 and then let it sit for about 15 minutes. And then I went ahead and opened up my canner, took out the newly canned red pepper jelly. If you look up close, you can see that it's still boiling from how hot the pressure canner actually got. here we are with my beautiful first time canned red pepper jelly. And I let them sit overnight, just waiting for those tops to pop. And this is the bed that's going to take forever. I actually just pulled out the squash plant that was over here, and I'm gonna plant some more potatoes here. But if you do look, one lone potato has come out, so we have one potato on the way. Before I said these spinaches were struggling, they definitely have. I do not think they're gonna make it. I think it just got too hot or something for them. So the spinach is probably gonna be a no-go, which is disappointing for this fall. Here's a little update on the beets. They are still coming along. I did go through and thin them one time. I'm gonna have to thin them, I think, again. Again, that is, you plant multiple seeds together and then you pull out the weaker one, which is probably gonna be this one. So let me just, so there, I don't know if you can see that, but, and that's gonna leave this little guy on its own. Over here, you'll see there's 3 in here. Ooh, or is there 4? Wow. Like I said, I got really sick of beets not working, so I really overplanted, I think. Obviously, this one's a stack of 3. So I'll have to go through here and thin the rest of these, which is my least favorite thing to do. And our giant tomato plant is still going really tall, but it's definitely on its way out. And I'm really proud of myself. Well, I guess I should be proud of my plants more so, that I've had tomatoes until September. Like I said, I want tomatoes till October. I have noticed the tomatoes themselves are just not as flavorful or like as colorful since I've been pushing the plant. So I don't know. We'll see how long I can get tomatoes that taste good, and then I'll definitely have to rip this one out. But it's definitely on its way out. You can see it's struggling a little bit, but it definitely blew us away this year. And here we are in our little carrot bed. So the carrots have actually taken off. I've grown 1 carrot my whole life, and it was very tiny and not delicious at all. But this side is the side that's been growing a little bit longer, and then this side is the one my chickens got into, so I reseeded. So we do have some little tiny baby carrots going. I am gonna have to thin on this side. I'm gonna wait a little bit longer. This side over here with some of the more mature carrots, I'm gonna have to probably go through and thin a few, but they look so good. I'm so excited. Now this is one that I did thin, so you can see this is a tiny carrot starting, if you can see that. So I think that's really cool. And I did thin that one out. If I even can get like 2 successful decent sized carrots, I'll be really proud of myself. So you guys are really seeing what kind of an end of summer garden looks like. It's a little bit of a mess. Again, it's been raining, so I couldn't really get out here. This broccoli I was hoping to hang on to and hoping maybe in the fall it would take off, but I'm not seeing anything. Again, my broccolis were super unsuccessful this year. This one has a tiny little crown that started, so I'll probably be able to get something off of this. Broccoli is really amazing. So the broccoli comes out the middle of the plant, obviously, and you can see where it has now bolted, and the flowers actually come out on top just like the lettuce does, and you would get the seed for the broccoli from the actual flowers. The broccoli seeds are so tiny that a tiny little seed would produce this type of plant, which has like an insane stalk on it. Like, these things are hardy. So when you rip them out, they're like a mini tree. But yeah, I wish my broccoli wouldn't have been so bad this year, but it was. But it's still fun to plant. It's one of my favorite things to watch grow. This is a little bit of a mess, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little overwhelmed by this bed right here. So we have a lot going on in this bed. This is where I planted some pumpkins, expecting that they would climb down here. These pumpkins, I don't know if I got bad seeds or if it was the season or what. I'm really disappointed because I'm not gonna have pumpkins, I think, this year. I think I'm just gonna rip these out because I don't know, we'll see, I guess. And then over here, this is the one lettuce. The lettuce is going so slow, and I do not know why. I don't remember it being this slow in the spring. Now this I started looking at, and I actually started ripping these out because I was like, what are these? But I think it's lettuce. I don't know for sure, so we're just gonna let them go. But because I let the lettuce plant bolt over here, I'm thinking the seeds fell into the ground and they went ahead and started. So we're just gonna leave it and see if it's actually lettuce that produces. Again, the lettuce is taking forever. I do not remember it being like this last fall, so I don't know. I'm a little bit concerned we're not gonna have lettuce for the fall, which will be sad, but I guess we'll see. Now, one thing I can always count on in this garden season is my kale. This kale is actually really beautiful. I'm really proud of it, and it's been doing really well. So kale is one of those things I'm still really learning what like recipes to use. So I've done some casseroles with kale in it. I've done kale, people have done it in their smoothies. They've gotten it from me and used it in their smoothies. And yeah, so kale chips, I've done kale chips too. So if you have any kale recommendations, I would love to know what you do with your kale, because this kale is going strong. I have a couple soups that I put it into. And then I have this second little kale over here. So this plant was wild and obviously got wildly out of control. I have never really had successful big tomatoes, which you all know, until this year. The tie-dye tomatoes have done so well for me, and I'm really excited about it. I'm gonna say this is a testament to everything doesn't have to go perfectly according to plan for it to be successful in the garden. This plant has obviously fallen over many times. It has bent in different areas, which I'll see if I can find, and it has still produced tomatoes. There have been splits in the actual plant itself. Oh, let me show you, like right here. And this thing still can produce. So if you have a tomato plant that like falls over or something, don't sell yourself short. Don't be like, oh no, it's not gonna produce, because it might. Because I thought about pulling this out many times because of all the damage that was done to it. I still have tomatoes coming along, which I don't know if they're gonna ripen or not because it's late in the season. It's a tiny little seed and this huge plant comes out. So it's really amazing. So I do still have quite a few tomatoes. They're really, really hard. So I guess we'll see if they ripen. I don't know, since it's so much cooler, if that's gonna be an issue, but I guess we'll find out. I'm gonna let this go until, I don't know, until it doesn't go anymore, I guess. There's some more over here too, so. Speaking of tomatoes, again, we have this plant still going strong as well. I need to come out here and clean up so much stuff. And that concludes our garden tour for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, I hope this inspires you to grow something of your own. And if you're not growing anything right now, I do want to encourage you to check out your local farmer's market, get some good quality fruit and veggies. Some even sell meat and different items. So make sure you take a moment to check out what farmer's market are in your area. So happy fall, friends, and I'll be talking to you soon.